Hi guys, this is Vidas,
And Ausra.
and let's start episode 36 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. Today's question was sent by John, and he writes the following question. Do you think it's achievable for me to learn Widor Toccata by March next year? My youngest brother has just announced his engagement, and the wedding will be in early April next year. Several years ago, he told me he would love to have this piece at his wedding one day. It's probably beyond my technical capabilities, but I really want to give it a go for my brother. I played for the church service last week, and everything went really well. You remember last time you ran the question answering series I asked about struggling to learn tenor voice. You would be pleased to learn that I learned tenor voice for all four hymns, so I played all four parts for all the hymns now. It felt like I was struggling for a week with no progress, but I kept practicing the left hand and pedals combination, and then it just clicked and it became together really well. Thanks for all your great podcasts answering people's questions. They're great questions and great answers, John. Osha, for starters, we're very glad about John's progress
Oh,
with
yes,
church
very
hymns
much. Yes.
because we've been communicating with John over a number of years now, and he's been our most loyal subscriber
Yes.
right from the beginning, starting from 2012, and he started to play hymns in churches regularly, but his challenge over the time was to play four parts together.
Yes.
And he's been practicing three parts, so he's been missing tenor voice. But
Actually, tenor voice gives the most problem while playing hymns.
But you know what he did right? He didn't double the bass with the pedals, like many people do.
Yes.
They play four part hymns with the hands, and plus they add the bass line with the pedals, which is not right. It will slow down your hand and feet independence process.
Sure, and I'm so glad that John achieved this independence. That's a very good sign.
Right.
So because he has patience and he's such a hardworking man, I think he might get to that Widor Toccata
Mm-hmm.
in time, because he still has a lot of time. So if he will start to practice now and will do it every day, he might be able to play it for his brother's wedding.
Right, right. So now it's the end of July. So let's think about August. August, right? September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. 8 months for one piece. Well, it's a little bit disappointing to learn only one piece over 8 months, right? Don't you think?
Well, you know, it depends on your goal.
If it's a big goal like he has, maybe he can persevere. But a lot of people will quit, I think.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. And I'm just thinking, mm, would it be possible to find like an adapted version of Widor Toccata? I'm not sure. I don't think I have heard about it, but
I haven't. Um, and it would be actually counterproductive, right? Because later, maybe 3 years from now, he wants to repeat this
sure.
Widor Toccata, and his technique will be better by this time. But this easier adapted version, I think you can find online. You can find just about anything online now. So for people who are really struggling but want to play it, sort of Widor Toccata adapted version, they can find. But perhaps we don't necessarily advise that, right?
Well, yes, and if John will manage to play it, then he will have excellent piece for many occasions, because you can play it for weddings, you can play it, for like service, like as a prelude or as a postlude. That's a great postlude actually.
Yeah, yeah,
And of course for organ recitals too.
yes. And memorize, above all, memorize this piece because you will love it and want to keep it in your repertoire for a long time.
Yes, and I think it's a good piece to play from memory because, you know,
I think the most challenging part with Vidor is hand part, not the pedals, and not together, hand and feet together combination, but the hand part, the staccato movement. But remember, Vidor didn't like people playing his toccata too fast.
I know sometimes now people go just like crazy,
Hmm.
just playing, you know, like Harley Davidson, you know, tempo.
Maybe not even Harley Davidson, but let's say Yamaha
Yes,
on this race, right?
it's really too fast, you know. It makes that piece sound so mechanical.
Hmm. So slow down when you practice. Practice in fragments, right? Just like we always suggest with hard pieces. Um, Even practice hands separately now.
Sure, definitely.
That's the first step,
Yes,
probably.
yes, I think so.
And in John's case, I think he has to make a plan, right? Uh, 8 months, right? But for his situation, I recommend to be ready not month before before wedding, but three, right?
Yes,
3 months will give him enough time to be, secure
yes.
with this piece. So maybe to be ready by February. That would be great. February, March, or maybe even January.
March is actually a wedding, I think.
Yeah, so maybe by the
January,
end of this
yes.
year, by the end of December 31st, he has to really play this piece for his friends or family without stopping at the concert tempo. That's his goal. With mistakes, don't worry about mistakes by that time. He will have 3 months to, get rid of those mistakes.
Sure.
But make sure you really make a plan to learn enough fragments for each day and refresh your previously mastered material each day so that day by day you complete this piece. I think it's doable even if you learn just one line per day, right?
Sure.
One
Yes.
line is maybe a couple of measures in this
Because you
edition.
know, in toccata, in the movement like this, there are a lots of repetition.
Yes.
So when you will manage, let's say, page or two, it will be a key to the rest of a piece.
Yes, it's like an exercise. Your fingers will get used and adjusted to the difficulty level of this exercise,
Sure.
and will get stronger and stronger each day you practice. But hand-on exercises would be beneficial too here, don't you think?
Sure. Sure.
Just like in any virtuoso piece.
And also, I think it would be very good, way to practice it on the piano. Just do the hand part on the piano. That might help too. Because I found that with composers like Widor and Verne, and other great French composers, that practicing on the piano helps a lot.
Because piano was the basis, basically, for
Yes.
the organ technique at that time.
Yes.
Yes, good advice. So find a usable piano and not the keyboard, not synthesizer,
Yes,
not
not a
electronic, but
synthesizer.
real mechanical
Yes.
piano.
Because that, mechanical feeling of a keyboard will help you, to strengthen your fingers actually, to strengthen your muscles.
If your church has a piano, practice on the piano too.
Yes.
Maybe you have a choir room which has a piano, not necessarily in the nave, but maybe in the choir room you can go and practice.
Because if you will be able to play hand parts on the piano well, it will be well on the organ too.
Yes.
And it shouldn't be so hard to actually to add pedals.
No. You practice pedal preparation, of course, for those
Sure.
pedal lines. That's a big key. But other than that, it just a slow, persistent, and regular practice. That's the key. Wonderful. I hope this was useful to you, John, and other people who want to play Widor Toccata and learn to play it in 8 months, let's say. From now, make sure you don't worry about fingering. Osha and I have prepared a fully fingered and pedaled version of this piece,
Yes.
so you don't have to, write down everything. And we done the hard work for you, so that you can jump in and get started right away with your correct, efficient, and persistent practice. And please send us more questions, right? We love helping you grow, and the easiest way to do this is by subscribing to our blog at organduo.lt, and then you can reply to our messages and send us the questions this way. But please be patient. We get tons of questions, and we get to your questions eventually and answer them, but maybe not the next day, and not the next week, because we have a line of people waiting really for help. Great, guys. Make sure you practice today, because when you practice,
Miracles happen.